that you're looking towards, but it doesn't have the best time of it into that Aphelios. Instead, you're going for something a little bit more aggressive, and this, once again, from LGD is a very dive-heavy, we're getting into your backline and blowing you up comp. Out. Yep. You don't have any priority mid lane, although now seeing your mid laner and the jungler heading up towards the top side of the map, I mean, this is going to be a bad situation right here for Unova.
Yeah, nice realm warp there. Going to create a 4-man dive onto Unova. Throws out the public execution, does not connect onto its target, but a quick flash and Drakehound Step will put him in a 1-versus-1 with Xiaoya, who chases him down with a killer instinct, and nobody able to get in there with the minion wave fully cleared out to finish the job. But here comes minion wave number 2, and Unova is out of tricks to pull out of his pocket, trying to pull away from the turret, trying to dive back in onto Xiaoya, but finally finished off by Hong. LGD claim first blood. Or the Grubs. I always want to call them the Rift Grubs for some reason, but they're the only Grubs there are going to be worked on by LGD. Hong going to claim the first, but Unai and the Hong are coming down to try to challenge for it, and it looks like AL might not give up these ones without a fight. Full engage on a Unai. Cyclone used, and they're just going to try to melt down the Rel. Unai flashes away on single-digit HP. Is Sinian going to take a fate sealed in onto Tong Yuan, trying to finish off his lane opponent. Tong Yuan falls. YCX is forced to flash over the wall, and AL take a win in a team fight to claim themselves the majority of the Grubs.
Actually, I think that the first two did go over to LGD, so it's just going to be this final grub picked up right here for AL, but the fight win is way more important. Only be down by 13 CS, that's not bad at all. You would want to be way further ahead as the Lilia, 25-30 CS ahead.
Tong Yuan is deep behind enemy lines, looking for a play onto the Hong. There's going to be a flash over the wall. Tong Yuan locks him down, and Xiaoya picks him up. LGD get a second kill on the board.
Just taking the wolves right now. Now going to be moving on down. They're going to be really late if they decide to take this one. I think instead they're just going to concede this second Drake of the game. Recognize that the timing just isn't going to work out for them, but that does allow AL to get themselves even closer towards Soul Point and towards having control over this game.
LGD forced to take their licks there, but wisely they do not take a fight that they were doomed to lose. They have no quickness. Going to be a little bit of a break in the action until this Rift Herald spawns on up, but AL continue to keep themselves in a very competitive position with a 2-0 lead, and the Dragons definitely have that Soul win con to play for. Sasa brawling with Sinian as GLFS jumps over the wall, and now needs to force the flash there. Sasa at risk of dropping on down. The damage from this Lilia is substantial against double chain vests, and now Sasa under pressure from multiple angles. I don't think he gets out of this, Bloxer.
Nope, he's just going to be tagged by that bowling ball as well. Should be one final hit, of course. We've seen some ridiculous things come out from Cassantes, but not going to happen in this situation. Components and scraps on towards their second, but you're going to be getting to that second item much quicker as Xiaoya, especially as he steps up right here, should be able to take down this tower, is going to be able to with one last auto attack, and there you go. Now this is going to make this next kill or this next objective completely critical when it comes to the feats. The big thing right here, yeah, exactly that, is just to force that smite out from GLFS. Of course, he's going to have a second charge of it, but just makes it that little bit harder to play around this Rift Herald. You've also bought time now for the bot lane to push.
Ooh, Nai pulling the trigger there with a big Magnet Storm, but it's only really onto Sasa, who does use All Out to try to create a little bit of space, but is going to get put to sleep and taken out here before too long.
No.
YCX sleeping over on the other side, going to jump in with the quickness, but he will melt down as well. Quick 2-0 to AL, and LGD, they're left flabbergasted. They can't get their forces together in time, and they're about to lose this Rift Herald.
Yeah, I mean, Tong Yuan, he teleports up really late. He wants to push one final wave through, but he's not even able to grab that tower down in the bottom side of the map. And because of that, you just don't have the numbers. LGD, they push a little bit too far forwards. And Xiaoya, the Xiaoya that we've been talking about being super far ahead in this game, just never gets involved. Still, Hung is kind of hovering in the area. Could potentially look for a steal right here. Would be risky. Doesn't pull the trigger in the end. How critical the next kills would be. And it is going to be picked up by AL, so they have themselves the feats. They're going to grab a tower too, and just put themselves even further ahead. The response, though, LGD should be able to grab themselves this Drake. There's no push here from AL. They don't care about this one. They can afford to give up one. Instead, they're going to look for the mid lane tier 1.
Yeah, just deciding off the back of these fight wins, they're going to sacrifice the Dragon stacking speed for a little bit of additional gold. They get themselves the topside tower, and now forcing a response here. This is going to be a TP used by Sasa to jump over and try to defend this turret, but he may be at risk of being dove. There's 4 members of AL here and nobody from LGD in position to back him up. How can Sasa try to play this out? Goes for the all-out over the wall, pulls Sinian away, is going to try to immune the fate. Still flashes away, gets onto the big blast cone, and Sasa's out of there. But that turret is going to be done for before too long. TP now being channeled by Unova to come and try to defend in the mid lane, and will be able to keep it safe.
It will be a top lane tier 2 tower traded for a bottom lane tier 1 and potentially the tier 2 realm warp going to be used aggressively once again to bring the minion wave on forwards. And I gotta be honest, I've been loving watching Tangyuan play this Ryze. One of my least favorite things about Ryze is when it's inactive and you never use the Realm Warp for something fun. Well, he's been using it for a lot of fun right now. Still, they are going to lose themselves at their mid lane tier 1 tower. And this has just been structure Armageddon. Another fight around one of the buffs. This one looking like it's going to go LGD's way.
Again!
What?
Onto the Hung! Finds the one-shot there. This guy is on a mission to assassinate Aphelios, and he makes it happen.
This is so nice to see. We keep talking about proactivity, and usually with a Ryze it's about the Realm Warp, but it hasn't just been the Realm Warp creativity during this game. He's been flashing over walls, he's been finding flank angles. Tangyuan is having one of the best series that we've seen from him in a while right now, and that assassination is going to result in the Atacant going on over. We were talking proactivity, and well, there you go.
And the Ryze, and gives it such a big break to LGD as they pick up the Otacon from it. Huge XP lead for the rest of the squad, and Tangyuan well ahead of the pace of the game, having completed that Roa as well. He is on an XP mile.
He is on a tear right now at this point in the game, and it just makes it so scary to play. Items completed now, so he will do some decent damage, but you do really need to get a little bit further ahead, I think.
Tangyuan he hit an overload there. He knows somebody's lurking in the bushes, and we'll take on anybody we can find. Unova trying to flash away, but Killer Instinct from Xiaoya will put him right back into melee range. Hung cleans up another kill.
To come on through. They do have 3 members in the area now. LGD, do they just go for this?
Mission here. He is deep behind enemy lines. No flash, no ultimate, no way of getting over. But there's the Hung, and he sees an opportunity to get in there. Big quickness from YCX, but immediately going to get bursted down by the AL forces. A flash forward from GLFS has to go into the stasis. They manage to melt down the Hung in time. Fate Sealed connects across multiple members. Tangyuan goes into the stasis, and Sasa in the all-out form with the extra damage from Xiaoya will just work their way through each and every member of AL. 4 hit the dirt, and it's an unofficial ace.
As well from Sasa, so you have the full 5 members. AL, they're going to be walking into this one late, and we've seen that's not worked pretty well for teams previously.
Yeah, good job by Sasa to create some space, prevent a big engage angle from Wunai. Throwing out the swirl seeds here is GLFS, looking for a big sleep angle to be able to set up a team fight for his squad, but Hong's been able to retreat away, and YCX gets over the wall as well. Public execution snags onto Sasa, and he is left out to dry as Tangyuan takes out the Realm Warp. Now Xiaoya cut off from the rest of the squad. They're going to get over here and try to respond to him, but GLFS has him pinned. Going to cast the Lilting Lullaby immediately. It's cleansed away. Wunai is going to get engaged onto. Quickness across all 3 members. YCX holds him still, and Tangyuan has the damage to finish off Wunai as Hong comes in on the flank now, exits onto GLFS and is looking to be able to finish him off with the second cast of the Cyclone. Hong with the solo kill. Tangyuan has Unova all over him, but he's able to pump out more damage than the AL squad can handle. Xiaoya wins a 1v1 of his own as LGD take fights across the board, and they win every single one.
Honestly, thinking about it right now, you've got the health advantage. You're up by 3 kills. Tangyuan on the way as well. And this could well be another kill. I think by yourself, definitely not, but Tangyuan, he is pumping the damage.
Yeah, now just make sure you don't get solo killed Xiaoya, and he will accomplish that mission. LGD, I mean, they just get caught in a bunch of one-on-ones. Mano-y-mano, right? Hong, one-on-one versus GLFS. Hong wins that. Xiaoya, one-on-one versus the Hong. He wins that. And now Unova in a 1 versus 2. I don't think the odds are going to get any better, especially with Tangyuan there. He is very ahead on this Ryze. Oh, the Realm Warp loop-de-loop. Unova takes in a public execution, but held down by the quickness. Tangyuan sprinting as fast as his feet will carry him, but I think there's just too many dashes in the Ambessa kit. Unfortunately, there are 2 more members of LGD en route to Unova to try to finish him on off. Now the question is, what can AL do in the cross map? Because this is taking too long.
Yeah, it's taking forever, and they're going to get a push going through the mid lane, push going through the bot lane as well. It's very scary at the moment. AL, they know this, and they're going to get themselves towards this Baron as quickly as possible. YCX looking for a little bit of a flank, is going to spot out that this one has started, and you're getting pincered in right here as AL.
Yeah, Tang Yuan using the Realm Warp to be able to get in behind enemy lines. Sasa TPing in to do much of the same. Not going to have access to the quickness from YCX. Going to make engaging a little bit tough. It's going to be mostly on Sasa here as he manages to force his way into the river to try to create some space for the rest of the team.
Oh, no.
There is a lockdown onto GLFS, and they almost one-shot the Lilia. Cyclone going to finish the job as Sasa claims the kill credit, and quickness is back on up. YCX throws himself in, gets onto 2. In comes a big Moonlight Vigil from the Hong, who has to flash back away, but Xiaoya's all over him, going to be able to finish him out of the back line. An attempted reset from Sidian will be finished off through the Fate Sealed, and Unova, the last one standing, will be hunted down by the remaining members of LGD, who win the team fight handedly.
And they're just about not going to be able to catch up to Unova. They decide that they don't care in the end. Instead, just going to take this one single minion with them through the mid wave and try to crack open the base, deciding they just don't need to take the Baron right now. It's going to be quite a lot of damage taken, not going to be able to fully take this one down. Unova, he does a good enough job of being able to cut through that minion wave, but still, things delayed just a little bit. Still going to be the Baron picked up right here for LGD. Oh yeah, he's doing damage and taking none again. He's full health.
Oh, it's another lockdown found by Tang Yuan there onto GLFS. Here's the quickness popped on through. YCX just going to take anybody he can find into that charm, but he'll be finished off, and the rest of his team were not in position to help him. Trying to take a 3 versus 5, but now the Dragon's on the menu. This is going to be Soul. They don't want to give it for free, but YCX is already dead. Hong into the back line, gets the Cyclone onto 2, knocked up by the rest of the squad. They managed to finish off the Hong, but the return damage is significant. Sidian going to be able to keep the knockups coming onto Tang Yuan, but it is going to be Hong jumping through the rest of the fight on the Trinity Force Wukong, pumping out the damage with the staff, bonking every member of AL on the head. Locked down now, though, by Wunai, but Hong fights through it all. Xiaoya comes over to join up his jungler, but he's not even needed. GD getting a little discombobulated, getting a little uncoordinated as they don't get the fight that they desire, and they do end up losing the Dragon Soul, but a massive flank from Hong onto the back line takes the Hong right out of the map, and there he goes again. One shot by the LGD crew as they look to take us to match point in what was a closer game number 2, but is an LGD win all the same.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.